Hi, Mark Diaz here for 2danimation101.com. In this video, we're going to talk about element number 6, the shape sizes. If you master this, the shape sizes, then you're going to master the perfect proportions of all your character. That is, proportion of one part in comparison with the other elements of your drawing. In the last lesson, let's not confuse it with the element number 5. The last lesson we checked about shape proportion, which is that one element in reference to the element in your copy, to that same element. That is one eye in relation to that same eye in the copy, right? And sometimes you can draw it a little bit taller or a little bit wider. And the way to notice that is by drawing a rectangle around it. That's one of the techniques you can use. But in this video, we're going to talk about something different, which is that part in relation to the rest of your character or your drawing. So let's understand this with an example. We see this, which is one of the exercises of the Rogue Mangaka, right? And if you have taken a couple of our exercises, then you know that bit by bit, we start removing the grid little by little until you have to do all that drawing without the grid, right? You draw each part, and then once you memorize it, you have to do it without the grid, right? And that's a little bit harder because you lose your sense of space and you start to calculate drawing your own grid or calculating a grid, and that helps you with the proportions. So let's see how one of our students made a mistake when he was without any grid. So this is the reference, right? This is the end goal you need to achieve. And this is from one of our students. The main problem you have to notice is the sizes. Look, these legs are too short in relation to the rest of the body. Look, this is the torso, and this is the size of each part of the leg. The leg and the shank, right? So if we compare this with the actual reference, you can see that the torso, look, this is the size of the torso. This is the size of the leg, which is almost the same size of the torso. Look, it's almost the same size. And then we have the size of the shank. And if we take both the leg, like the complete leg, look, the complete leg is bigger than the torso. Can you see that? So let's go back. And in here, look, the leg is almost the same size, actually even a little bit smaller than the torso. So as you can see, this is a shape size problem. This is what you refer to as a disproportionate character. It means that the sizes of the parts are wrong. It's shape sizes. Okay, so this is something that you need to be careful about. And the way to master this is by using a grid. And with the grid, you can see how easy it is to, start calculating. But once you remove the grid, you need to be able to imagine it. That is, let me show you an example. If I was drawing this without the grid, I would just go, I just remember that the same size of this, the crotch, and the part, the kind of where the belly goes, that is this distance. And then I repeat it, and there is where I put the knees. So in other words, if I was to draw this on a blank sheet of paper, I would say, yes, this distance, I would repeat it below, which is around here. And then again, and in here is where I would have to put the knee. And then the other part of the shank. You see? So that is how, little by little, having a grid helps you create the correct shape sizes. Okay? So that's it for this video. Now in the next one, we're gonna talk about line angles. This is especially important if you're struggling with drawing faces. So see you in the next lesson.